Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling sports injury recovery.
A really important topic.
Absolutely. And you, the listener, want the essential knowledge quickly and thoroughly.
hmm
So our mission here is to distill the core principles for effective rehab. We're really focusing on a comprehensive strategy.
Right. And we've looked at insights from places like Physical Therapy and Pain Management in Brooklyn. They have a particular approach.
Exactly. And we'll be focusing especially on why balance and flexibility are so vital, alongside the obvious strength training to get you back to your best.
Precisely. Because, look, rebuilding strength seems like the first thing people think of after an injury. It makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
But what's really key, sort of fundamentally, is understanding the role balance and flexibility play. It's crucial for a complete and lasting return. If you neglect them, well, full recovery can be hindered.
Okay, so let's dig into that. Why are balance and flexibility so crucial? It feels like they sometimes get overlooked.
They often do. See, after an injury, that communication system between your brain and your muscles, the neuromuscular system, it often gets disrupted.
Ah,
And joint stability can be compromised too. So balance exercises, they're essential for basically retraining those pathways.
retraining them how?
Well, it allows your joints to react properly when you move. And importantly, it significantly cuts down the risk of getting injured again.
Right, that makes a lot of sense for balance. So where does flexibility fit into this picture? What's its essential contribution?
Flexibility is all about restoring the natural movement range in your joints. When muscles get tight after an injury, or even just from training, they create uneven tension across your body. And that unevenness, that actually increases your chance of future strains or other injuries.
So you're saying balance and flexibility are like the foundation?
Exactly. Think of them as the essential groundwork for a resilient body, a body that can handle physical stress effectively.
Okay, so how does a place like Physical Therapy actually put this into practice in their recovery programs?
Well, they generally use a structured three-stage approach. It makes logical sense.
Right.
The first stage, they call it protect and prepare. The main focus here is reducing pain and inflammation.
Oh, okay.
So that means things like gentle range of motion exercises, maybe some soft tissue therapies, hydrotherapy could be great, dated mobility, just calming the injury down.
Preparing it for more work later on.
Exactly. Preparing it for the next steps.
That seems like a really sensible start. What comes next?
Then you move into the rebuild and strengthen phase. Here, you start introducing targeted exercises. For strength, yes, but also critically for balance.
Ah, so balance comes in early too.
It does. And flexibility training is a really significant part here as well. It stops you getting stiff as the strength comes back. It ensures your movement mechanics are right.
Got it. And the final stage, that must be about getting back to activity.
Precisely. Stage 3 is perform and prevent. Now the exercises start to mimic actual sport-specific movements. The goal is restoring your pre-injury function. And they integrate balance work and dynamic flexibility that's like flexibility during movement to really get you ready for real-world demands.
So it's not just getting back, but maybe even getting better.
That's the aim, potentially improving performance. And importantly, it's all personalized. It progresses based on how you're healing.
You mentioned also uses advanced techniques. Can you give us a few examples?
Sure. Their overall approach is quite comprehensive. So beyond the core exercises, they might use specific post-operative rehab protocols if needed,
Right.
manual therapy that's hands-on techniques for joints and muscles, sometimes things like electrical stimulation or shockwave therapy to help healing,
Okay.
functional movement training to correct faulty patterns, resistance and balance training, obviously, and even laser therapy for pain and inflammation. They support healing at really every stage.
So listening to all this, it really sounds like just focusing on getting strong again isn't the whole picture. Not by a long shot.
Not at all. Strength alone, without good balance and flexibility, can actually leave you quite vulnerable.
How so?
Well, balance gives you better body control. It reduces that risk of re-injury if you make a sudden move or land awkwardly.
Okay.
Flexibility ensures your joints can move smoothly through their full range. That prevents uneven stress. Then, strength provides the power and resilience you need on top of that foundation.
So they all work together.
They're completely interwoven in good rehab programs. One supports the other.
And it sounds like tailoring this is key. You mentioned personalization.
Absolutely fundamental. A good program starts with a really thorough assessment. Looking at your movement patterns, your balance, strength, flexibility, the whole lot.
Right.
That detailed evaluation shapes the initial plan. And crucially, that plan evolves and changes as you progress through your healing.
So the goal isn't just recovery, it's optimization.
Exactly. It's not just getting you back to where you were before the injury. It's about potentially enhancing your performance and, really importantly, preventing future injuries down the line.
This really underlines for anyone listening who might be facing a sports injury just how important proactive, comprehensive recovery is.
It really does. Delaying proper rehabilitation or, just trying to push through on your own, it can unfortunately prolong recovery. It can even increase the risk of longer-term issues.
So, seeking out specialists like the ones mentioned at Try Physical Therapy in Brooklyn who understand this integrated approach is key.
Definitely recommended for the best outcome.
Well, this has been incredibly insightful, really highlights that holistic view needed for getting back to your sport safely and effectively. So here's a final thought for you, our listener, to consider. How might proactively focusing on your balance and flexibility, even when you're not injured, enhance your overall physical well-being and your resilience in the long run? Something to think about. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.